Alright, this is my audience. How many of you guys have seen these stickers lately? Less and less of these voting stickers are being distributed in elections recently. According to the U.S. Census, youth voting, ages 18 to 24, is down nearly 13% since 1964. I have never missed an election, and I have done extensive research on the facts about the younger generation's voting habits. Young people should definitely get more involved in elections, not only as a duty to our country, but a duty to ourselves as citizens. Our votes can determine the future. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of voting, the difficulties young voters face, and why we should get involved. One of the main problems today is that young people don't understand the importance of voting. Like I mentioned earlier, voting rates have declined over the years, but have recently been picking up. Since 2000, voter turnout for young people has risen 5%. It's not much, but it's a good start. According to DoSomething.org, out of all young people eligible to vote in 2012, ages 18 to 29, only 50% of them cast a ballot. This amounts to nearly 20% of all votes. Just think, if all young people were to cast a ballot, our say would be much more influential. The good news is that voter turnout has jumped in the presidential election according to USA Today. Although it's only a couple percent, it's a good place to start. It's definitely important to consider that the decisions that our country and states make determine a large part of our future. Now that we have talked about the importance, let's look at the difficulties. One thing to consider is the occasional difficulty that many students face when trying to get to the polls. According to the Huffington Post, many young voters showed lack of enthusiasm in the 2012 election due to confusion about new voting laws. In my opinion, this is one thing our states need to work on. The younger generation vote is very important, and making that easy and accessible is a top priority. This issue was present right here in North Dakota this month during the state election. According to the Fargo Forum, students at UND were turned away at the polls for not having proper ID. Students need to go to the administration building to have a certificate printed before voting, and that caused quite a bit of confusion and distress. Many of these students claim that they did not receive proper information or an adequate amount of time to get their things prepared before the election. For these reasons, it is important to consider educating yourself on where you need to vote and what type of ID you need to bring in advance. Now that we have looked at the difficulties, let's look at some of the reasons to get involved. There are many good reasons to get involved in local or national politics. Although it may not seem like one voice is going to be heard, you'd be surprised what can happen. You mentioning something about voting to a friend can send a good message. That message can be sent even further. The younger generation is definitely highly influenced by others. This can definitely be a positive thing in this example specifically. Like I mentioned earlier, how we vote determines a large portion of our future. I'm going to bring up a specific example in North Dakota in the past election this month. According to the Fargo Forum, Measure 1 was included on the ballot stating the inalienable right to life of every human being at any stage of development must be recognized and protected. I'm not going to pick a side, but think of the result this could have both ways. First, the measure could pass, banning abortion and other types of birth control, as well as taking away women's rights, but a life would be saved indefinitely. Or, the measure could be rejected, returning the freedom for women to choose their path, but possibly harming others in the process. Obviously, I'm sure every one of you has an opinion on this matter. Your vote and voice can go a long ways, and this might directly affect you in the future. This is one example as to why getting involved is extremely crucial. Young people should definitely get more involved in elections, not only as a duty to our country, but as a duty to ourselves as citizens. Our votes can determine our future. Today, I talked about the importance of voting, difficulties some voters face, and why getting involved in the election is important. It is about educating yourself and exercising your rights. Hopefully we see more of these stickers on young people voting in the future. Thank you.